Alright, well, here's a tour of my shop. I'm going to try to be quick so this video ain't so large. But yeah, I just got this one room and everything crammed in here like a puzzle. So I got drawers and drawers of power adapters here. Power adapters and wires and power supplies and stuff. And in this thing, I've got some interesting power supplies. This is a 12 volt 200 amp computer server power supply I'm going to be messing with. I've got the mini CNC for making circuit boards, which I was working on this one last night, and I got to touch up a couple spots before I etch it. And that circuit board is for, well, that right there is a toaster oven. I'm going to make a reflow solder oven out of it. Oh, here's a box of what's in here. About 30 STM32 microcontrollers in there. I got an old analog oscilloscope. It does me just fine. That's all capacitors and batteries. That's all through-hole resistors. And that's all my SMD crystals and diodes and capacitors and resistors and SMD, couple different sizes. I got some relays and programming sockets like that. That's for the Arduino Mega. These are all connectors. Just boxes and boxes of stuff. Those are a bunch of connectors. I got all my glue and stuff. These are shrink wrap, heat shrink for wires. This is where I got all my wiring and soldering stuff here. And I'm running low on wire. And like on here, these are all STM32 microcontroller stuff. This is all Arduino microcontroller stuff. I got raw chips and boards and everything in here. And this is all well, it's wireless stuff and ESP32 stuff. You know, LEDs, infrared, heat sinks, stuff like that, modules. I got all kinds of freaking modules, sensor modules, stuff, camera stuff, little cameras. I've been getting into cameras more lately. You gotta have one of these if you're gonna solder anything small. Here's what my table looks like at any given time. It's just, and you can pick out all the interesting little stuff. Okay, there's a little stepper motor. There's a Arduino Mega with no chip on it. Chemicals for etching and stuff. There's a ESP32 Dev C board. Here's a circuit board I've been working on. Been redesigning a couple times till I get things the way I want it. I actually want to make an ESP32 controlled CNC control board. And there's my soldering stuff and board holder, more soldering stuff. Just let if I get some of the paper out of here, you can see I got STM32s, I got a stripped down touchscreen board, buck converters, gotta have a lot of those. It's getting to be a mess in here. And 3D printer that's been totally modified and still needs more work. Here's all my, I got boxes like this of all kinds of stuff from DigiKey, chips and stuff. Chips and components from DigiKey, just boxes and boxes. I try to keep a box for each project, because sometimes my projects are pretty in depth and they'll take a long time, and so it's better to just keep everything in a box. That way, you know, it's together for a certain type of project. This is just like all kinds of. This box is for mainly just loose chips. This is mainly op amps and pin expanders and stuff like that. You know, just various loose chips. And and digipots in this box. This box is all mainly MOSFETs, opto-isolators, and rectifiers and stuff in this box. And this box is this box, the top of this box is all voltage stuff. I got these, which are real handy. These are the WX, I don't know if you can see that, 1203. These are line voltage to 5 volts. It's what's in a little wall adapter, but I put them on a circuit board if I'm going to make something complete. And then I got all the linear regulators and buck converters, big buck converters, little buck converters, and linear regulators. You see, I've been doing this stuff for years, and I've got, you know, more money than time, so, and I get these big ideas for projects, and, you know, so I got all kinds of screens here, touch screens, bunches of touch screens, and then I got the Nokia screens, and I got some other screens, and this is just all screens right here. You know, and I found, you know, I've been doing this a long time. If you buy a bunch from China and wait a couple months for it to come in, then you get stuff. You get a whole bunch of stuff for really cheap, and so stuff I use a lot, like touch screens and microcontrollers. That's usually how I do it. That's all 3D printing filaments in that box. Air compressor. I got to resolder something on my buddy's Bluetooth. I got to resolder something for him. Drawers full of crap. Old electronic parts. I usually use those for cobbing out the big capacitors, and the metal heat sinks is mainly what I actually use off of them. I got all kinds of, this is the way to go, man. You get assortments of everything, assortments of pin headers and fuses and capacitors and screws and bolts and nuts, and buy assortments. It works out a lot better. And it's a lot cheaper. I got a drawer of failed projects and failed circuit boards and this, that, and the other, custom circuit boards that I didn't use or whatever. And I scrap parts off them eventually. Homemade CNC machine, big CNC machine I use for cutting metal. That's what that circuit board I'm making right now is for, is to I want a Wi-Fi wireless controller for it. This is a welder. I'm converting this to a TIG welder. I bought a cheap DC welder. I'm converting to a TIG welder. That's one of the projects I'm working on. And these big powerful MOSFETs are for that. They're 250 volt, 110 amps continuous, but it's like 300 amps pulsed. So that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, this is when you can't even barely sit down, that's when you know you're into electronics a little too much. I mean, everything's got, I've been stuff like this laying around everywhere. I don't even remember what this was for, you know. I mean, shit. Tools and wires and cables, lots of wires and cables. Save all your scrap. You're going to use it for something eventually. Well, these got them little Arduino stepper motors to run these webcams, and that's all ran by this circuit board. Yeah, and it works great. It just, now this is a cluttered room here. Yeah, buy everything by assortment. It's always cheaper. I'm just gonna give a little tour of my mess. But I'm always working on something. But you know, I've been doing this electronic stuff for years, and I got into it real heavy, and I always have ideas, and I'm always working towards multiple projects at once, and I've learned how to deal with projects that might take 4 or 5 months to even complete, and I just keep going on until they're done, you know, and they do eventually get done. Like this building this CNC machine, that was over a year-long project, you know, and I just kept going and going, and now it does all kinds of stuff, and now I'm just upgrading the electronics to some better, more precise electronics, you know. And so yeah, I mean, over time you'll have a room like this too. All right, later.